Have you noticed just how mainstream the ex-Yugoslavian countries have gotten? I know, it sounds like a Seinfeld bit. What's the deal with Yugoslavia? What even is it? I thought it was a car. I mean, I just showed you Dončić appearing in an Air Jordan commercial with Vera Matic's Miki Milane playing in the background. Do you understand how insane that is? Anyways, today I wanted to explore the meteoric rise of ex-Yugo talent like Dončić, Jokić, Modrić, Djokovic, and so much more. I want to highlight just how much talent we have from this part of the world and how insane it is for its collective size. So why are we so good at sports? How did this happen? What is the diaspora effect? Did that f***er Tito play a role in this somehow? Are we really the footballing breadbasket of Europe? And we'll look at some hidden reasons many overlook when talking about Yugoslavian dominance in sport. Before we get too deep, a quick refresher. Josip Broz Tito was the communist leader of Yugoslavia from 1945 to 1980. He basically held 6 republics and a few hundred ethnic tensions together through charisma, cigarettes, and socialism. Now we could start this video off with pre-Tito era talks like Yugoslavia's early success in football, or even gymnastic societies in Slovenia and Croatia, or the formation of national identity through sport. But I don't have 2 hours for a documentary today. So instead, let's talk about why I think Tito's influence was more significant and laid the building blocks for success we see today. Sports mattered, or at least Tito thought so, both as a representation of political stability and national identity. Sports were always entangled with politics, and Yugoslavia's success was a message to both the West and the Soviets. Look at our success as an independent nation, not bent over for either of you.
Later, it's announced that Russia will be Yugoslavia's biggest trade partner in future, with nearly £40 million worth of business this year. And Tito adds, I do not expect this visit to alter our relations with the West.
After 1945, Partizan and Zvezda emerged as regime-aligned multi-sport societies. Football governance kept getting reorganized to mirror socialist self-management. Mass volunteer labor and state funds were used to build stadiums and facilities right after the war. The Red Star Stadium excavation project, the Sarajevo Olympics, the Mediterranean Games in Split, all major investment in sports. From a Yugoslav's perspective though, sports became one of the most popular parts of everyday life. It was about community, leisure, pride, and real access for kids without the pay-to-play barriers you'd see in Western nations. For me personally, I made most of my closest friends in life through sports. It's been the foundation of many of my relationships, my mental and physical health, and my overall happiness. It's gotten me through rough times and made me more resilient when those days arrived. I don't fully understand when someone undervalues sports because it always played a massive role in my life and identity. And I know I'm not the only one that shares that sentiment, especially from this part of the world. Anyways, the payoff of Tito's investment into sports was clear early on. You'll notice 2 major sports really standing out on the list of Yugoslav achievements. So let's talk about them. But a quick detour before we do. Why are we built like demigods? You know what probably helped? We're just built different. Like, literally. People from this region, especially Bosnia, Montenegro, parts of Croatia, and Serbia, are some of the tallest humans on Earth. We're talking about the Dinaric Alps genetics. Average guy is 185 centimeters, broad shoulders, long arms, like a player you create in a video game. Apparently, our mix of mountain genes, meat, and milk just breeds athletes. Tito gave us a system, but genetics definitely didn't hurt. Anyways. Football stood out in Tito's Yugoslavia because it already had deep roots before World War II. Huge clubs, passionate fans, unlike basketball or handball, which had to be built from scratch. It was also the most accessible game in a poor, war-torn country. Anyone could play on a patch of dirt. Tito recognized that football offered unmatched global visibility, so the state invested heavily in clubs, youth systems, and national teams, turning the sport into both mass participation and propaganda, if you want to look at it more pessimistically. Olympic and European medals came quickly. Stadiums became political stages, and players gained experience abroad. While Yugoslavia did thrive in basketball, water polo, and handball, football was a little different. Football's mix of grassroots passion, numbers, and early access made it the flagship sport of Tito's era. The Yugoslavian team played with a flair that other powerhouse nations had abandoned for a more mechanical and calculated style of play. During their time, they were dubbed by many as the Brazilians of Europe. No, seriously, they were. Look it up. Modern football in the Balkans really stands on that foundation and remarkably continues to be the region's most successful export. According to the CIES Football Observatory's Migration Atlas, which is just a fancy name for a thing that tracks professional player movement, so I don't know why it's such a big name. 839 Serbs and 827 Croatians left their respective countries to play somewhere in Europe between 2020 and 2025. They're only outnumbered by France, Brazil, Germany, and England, and all those countries have significantly larger populations. When population size is factored, there are virtually no other countries that export more footballing talent. This alone is a tremendous achievement for any nation. This is systematic success that took decades to form. And we have to give a special shout out to Red Star Belgrade for winning everything in '91 and to the Croatian national team for the insane back-to-back World Cup runs they just had. There's just no comparable success for a nation that small. Modrić deserves his flowers too when he won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. Between 2008 and 2023, there are only 2 players that are not named Ronaldo or Messi to have won that award, and Modrić is one of them. Okay, Nelly, that's enough football talk. What about basketball? We can't talk about Yugo dominance without basketball. Like football, it flourished under Tito's reign. During his lifetime, the Yugoslav basketball team became one of the world's strongest, rivaling the US and USSR. Basketball clubs like Partizan, Crvena Zvezda, Cibona, Jugoplastika were all tied to state institutions like the army, youth unions, and factories. These great clubs also help foster great coaches, and it's well known that some of the best coaches in the world are from Yugoslavia. Success in basketball meant international prestige, and Tito valued that. By 1980, when they won the Olympic gold, Yugoslavia was firmly a basketball powerhouse. They continued to collect silverware long after Tito was gone, at almost every major international competition. And in 1992, Partizan won the EuroLeague, which is still considered one of the most remarkable stories in sports, playing a majority of their games in Fuenlabrada, Madrid, as Yugoslavia faced international sanctions. This deserves its own video, but not today. Obradović coached that team and went on to win 8 more EuroLeague titles. Today, he's widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball coaches in history. I grew up in one of the best eras of Yugoslav basketball. I got to witness them win Eurobasket in 2001 and the World Cup in 2002. My favorite player growing up was Peja Stojakovic, but man, that 2002 team was special. Divac, Rakočević, Stojakovic, Podiroga, and who could forget Peja Drobnjak.
It's Peja Drobnjak, supersonic seat sail, with his cat Jinkies.
Hey, these space bears make me do crazy things.
Unfortunately, I was born just a few months before Dražen Petrović passed, so I've never actually seen him play live. He was on a path to be one of the most dominant ex-Yugoslav talents before his life was tragically cut short in 1993. Toni Kukoc gets an honorable mention for winning 3 NBA titles with the Bulls and being a fantastic role player. And now, well, it could be argued that we're even in a better era of Yugoslav basketball. Jokić is the best player in the world and is on path to be one of the best in history. He's putting up historic numbers on a nightly basis, and he's the only player from this part of the world to carry an NBA team to a title. He also has 3 MVPs, should be 5, but whatever. Quick side note, I also got the opportunity earlier this year to talk to the man behind a lot of Jokic's NBA success, Denver Nuggets and Serbia's assistant coach Ogi Stojakovic. If you want to know how Ogi helped mold Jokić into the beast that he is today, definitely check out that video. And what about Luka? Well, Luka's a monster. Top 5 players in the league, only 26, hasn't even peaked yet. In 2017, he led Slovenia to the first Eurobasket gold, a nation of barely 2 million people. Insanity. And that brings me back to that Air Jordan commercial and just how crazy it is that Luka is a household name. The only comparable thing when I was a kid was maybe this hilarious Stojakovic commercial.
Like that? Can't be right. My paperwork says 47.
Ej, momci, ja sam bila 47, to je 14 u Americi.
This region of the world goes crazy for basketball. The atmosphere is unmatched. There's no experience like a live game in Belgrade, unless maybe you count our Orthodox brothers down in Greece, or maybe the Turks. And the scary part, maybe if you're a hater from the West, the dominance looks like it's here to stay. Jokić is in his prime, Luka is entering his, and a new wave of Serbian players are on the come up. Don't be shocked when one of these nations upsets a stacked US team in the near future. Football and basketball got the fame, but water polo and handball quietly built dynasties too. Both sports had deep club systems dating back to Tito's era. National service and army clubs ensured elite physical development. Fierce inter-republic leagues during socialism built competition that still produces world champions today. Just look at the titles. Serbia, Croatia, and Montenegro dominate water polo. Croatia and Slovenia punch above their size in handball. Croatia's Ivano Balic is regarded by many as one of the GOATs in the sport. It's the same story. Discipline, tactics, teamwork. The system worked. Yugoslavia might have collapsed politically, but in sport, the system never died. It just split into 6 powerhouses. And you know, as I was writing the script for this video, I literally forgot about volleyball. That's just how massive the scope of this video can be. So here's a quick graphic of some of the biggest successes internationally. Although Serbia has had the most success from past ex-Yugo countries, Slovenia is a modern-day powerhouse, and Croatia had a strong women's era in the 90s with Barbara Jelic. Tennis is an interesting one because tennis was always dominated by richer nations, and it made sense. Courts are expensive, they need upkeep. Indoor play costs a fortune. You burn through balls, strings, and shoes like nothing. Then along comes a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
And that's it. On a massive miss hit, Wimbledon, number 5.
He fought through war, sanctions, and a Nadal-Federer favored era. From rigged draws to hostile crowds, he somehow rose to the top, becoming the greatest player in the history of the game. It's hard to say Tito or any tennis federation built Djokovic. It was culture, the circumstances, and the grind. However, he's not alone. Goran Ivanišević won Wimbledon as the first and only wildcard in history. Marin Cilic won a slam in the Djokovic-Federer-Nadal era, a feat only a handful of men have achieved. Ana Ivanovic won the French Open, while Jelena Jankovic was once world number 1. Less than 1% of pros reach that level of success. Although team sports can be somewhat explained by the factors mentioned earlier, tennis success really can't. Well, not in this case at least. But if you have nations that constantly produce athletic talent with a Terminator-like mindset, it's only a matter of time before one of those Terminators picks up a racket. Speaking of Terminator-like mindset, we've talked about infrastructure, genetics, and history, but we haven't talked about the secret sauce, Inat. Loosely translated, it's grit, defiance, spite, stubborn pride. It's the, you think I can't do it? You, I'll prove you wrong, I'll do it anyways. It's complex, like a fire. It can cook a meal or burn down a house. It's the grit to come back from 2 match points down, or the red card that ruins your game. Inat, in some form or another, is present in most Yugo athletes. It's the will to prove everything wrong, to win not for yourself, but against the world. Have you ever seen that anger in Dončić's eyes after a ref makes a bad call? Or the grin on Djokovic's face as the crowd boos him? Or a bloody Vidic going headfirst into a tackle at foot level? That's Inat. It's the thing that turns pain into pride, the invisible fuel. We don't just play to win, we play to prove we exist.
Not having success is not an option. I have to succeed. It's basically a matter of existence, a survival of my family.
Diaspora, people who've spread or been dispersed from their homeland. The amount of talent that's descended from this part of the world and gone on to represent other countries is staggering. If I had to make a list of professional athletes that have some sort of Yugo descent who ended up representing the country they immigrated to, the list would be 100 pages long. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Monika Seles, Stipe Miocic, Milan Lucic, half the Austrian and Australian football teams, the list goes on. If you see a last name ending with IC, it probably means they got some of that Inat in them. It's that mix, Balkan mentality with Western opportunity, that has created monsters. That's the diaspora effect, and it'll only become more visible as these second-generation immigrant athletes come onto the scene. This topic is truly endless, but I hope this video gives you a little bit of context, or maybe opens your eyes to just how much talent this small area of the world has produced. I'm really sorry if I missed an athlete or a sport. I was trying to cover 100 years of Yugoslavian sports, so I do apologize. What started as a socialist project turned into a global phenomenon. A mix of pride, pain, and persistence no map could contain. The Balkans don't just produce athletes, they produce survivors. Champions built from chaos, raised on defiance, fueled by Inat. Thanks for watching.